going here. All right, we learned last time a lot of important things. Between the goal lines, there's 100 yards of playing field. The goal of the offense is to get the ball in possession across the goal line in their own end zone to score a touchdown. Touchdown's worth 6 points. After a touchdown, you can kick an extra point attempt worth 1 point, or run or pass the ball into the end zone on what's called a 2-point conversion. All right? The team with the most points wins, and the game is broken down into 4 quarters. There's 4 quarters in the professional realm. They're 15 minutes each. Now we're going to talk a little turkey about what actually happens during the game. But before we go there, remember this. My class we talked about, I'm sure I talked about it in one of these videos, football is the son of soccer, along with its brother, rugby. All right? So, rugby and football come from the same source. Now, when they first started playing football, they started playing with a ball that looked a lot more like a rugby ball. And because of that, all right, they ran with the ball mostly, but they did a lot more drop kicking. A drop kick is when you drop the ball and the ball hits the ground and you kick it right after it hits the ground as far as it can go. Mr. Moore was actually pretty good at that. All right? Now, here's the rundown. You didn't do a lot of passing back then, so the ball was not very aerodynamic, had a big flat surface. Now that passing has become a major part of the game, you can see that the ball has become more aerodynamic and pointy. So a little hard to drop kick, but a little bit better to throw. Mr. Moore is excellent at that. Boom! And now if you can kick that to those big uprights, that counts as a point. But this ball is much harder to deal with. So, rugby, another great sport, which my class hopefully will be learning when you come back, if we come back. But we're going to talk a little football. Now, because they're the same and they're both born from soccer, well, how does soccer start? It starts with a kickoff. Football starts the same way. So, you come out, there's a referee, there is a team that's the visiting team, and a home team. The referee flips a coin, all right, and the visiting team calls whether they want heads or tails.
Tails.
He says tails, the referee, what is it?
Heads.
It's heads. They lost, I won. That means I get to pick, do I want to kick the ball to the other team, or do I want to receive the ball that's kicked from the other team? Or, a little known fact, I can defer to the second half, which means I'll take the decision of the second half. But for now, let's keep it simple. I want to receive. Mr. Moore-Henry's going to kick the ball to me as a receiving team. Boom, there comes the ball. I'm receiving, I'm running. His job is to tackle me.
Oh! Oh, yeah, that hurt, baby, that hurt.
All right. The way you advance the ball in football is by running the ball up the field. Even where there's a pass, the receiver catches the ball and then runs the ball up the field. When you catch the ball, you want to tuck the ball into your arm, the side closest to the sideline. And you want to keep it nice and tight. That way, when the defender tries to knock the ball out of your hand, you have it still there. All right? If you're holding it loose and you're running like this and you hit the ball, uh-oh, I lost the ball. Fumble. Mr. Moore-Henry recovered. It's his team's ball. Right? To the sideline, like, what did I do? What did I do? All right, so you always got to protect the ball. Now, Mr. Moore-Henry's team has kicked off to me. I ran the ball wherever I've gotten to. They tackled me. The ball's on the ground. Now, remember we talked about those downs. You get 4 attempts or downs to try and make it 10 yards. Now that's 10 yards from wherever the ball is. They actually have a chain that is exactly 10 yards long. It goes up the sideline, and there's an imaginary line across the horizontal line of the field that we have to get to. Otherwise, it becomes Mr. Moore-Henry's ball. But the way it works is like this. The ball's here. I'm going to come and huddle up with my team. I got all those positions we talked about, 11 positions. The quarterback is the leader of the offense. He's going to get a play call either from his wrist. He has a sheet there with a number of codes on it. Or he's also got a microphone in his helmet He's talking to the coach. He's going to get a play. Got it? All right. Great. They're going to come line up in an offensive formation. Now, we'll talk later about formations and all that, but right now know that there are two things that can happen. The offense is either going to run the ball or they're going to pass the ball. Now, passing, you can get more yardage, but it's more of a high-risk play. Running the ball is more reliable usually, but less of a chance of you getting larger pieces of yardage or real estate on the field. But it can go either way. You never want to do the same thing over and over again. It makes it up left and right. Right now, what we're going to do is just show you, all right, taking a break from the team format, just how to throw and catch a ball, right? Here's a football, all the way around. You'll notice that every football you ever did see has a set of laces on. The way you grip the football is you're going to take 3 or 2, depending on how big your hand is, but usually 3 fingers, and you're going to spread them out across the laces. And then you're going to make sure the football is in your hand with about maybe 1/8 of it sticking out of the back. You have your hand spread across the laces, all right? That's going to help you release the ball as you are throwing it, right? If you're right-handed, obviously the ball goes in your right hand. If you're a lefty, it goes in your left hand. I'm a righty, all right? Now, you have the ball here, near your chest area. Some people like to have it up here, nice and high and tight to the head. You're going to throw similar to a baseball, similar to any type of ball, right? You're going to throw via your shoulder, your elbow, and your torquing of your hip. So, first things first, ball's in throwing position. You're going to step, all right? You're going to step with your lead foot, usually opposite of your throwing arm, always opposite of your throwing arm, unless you're an alien, all right? And then you're going to turn your hip as you're throwing, and then extend with your shoulder and your elbow all the way through. The final touch is the ball should spin off of your fingers to create a nice tight spiral, which is going to help it be more aerodynamic, all right? So I'll give you an example, all right? Right to Mr. Moore-Henwick, and he catches it. You throw it back to me, and we catch it like such. One more time. Right there, and it's going to throw it to me. And now, you're in for a treat, guys. Many of you may not have known this, but our very own dear old Mr. Moore-Henwick was part of a few championship teams for Oak Grove High School, and he was an all-CCS receiver, which means he's a great receiver, can catch the ball very well. He's going to take us to how to catch a ball.
Sorry about that.
It's a long
It's
time.
been a while, guys. It's been a while. All right. When you catch a ball, usually above the width, or above the hips, or above the waist, you want a diamond shape. Pretty simple, diamond shape. If you're catching the ball well, the very tip of that ball will come right into the middle of the diamond. If you're catching a ball below your hips, below your waist, in general, you're going to put your pinkies together. This is a harder catch. It is for me, because you have less of your hands together. Diamond, you have 2 connection points. Underneath, you have 1. So, below the phone, it'll be like this. As Mr. Shoemaker said earlier, no matter where you catch the ball, up or down, you want to tuck it in. 4 points of contact on the tuck in. Your fingers, forearm, armpits, and your ribs. If you do that, it's going to be hard to get the ball stripped. Boom. However, if I'm carrying it like this, boom, so above your waist, diamond shape. These are great true false questions, aren't they, guys?
Absolutely.
Above the waist, diamond. Below the waist, pinkies. The one area that's going to go in between where you wouldn't catch with your hands, it's a tough area. It's between your thigh and your abs. That was the toughest catch for me. So if it's there, boom, you can bring it, let the ball come in, but you want to come back towards the ball.
Catch it in the
All right?
basket. Now, guys, we're in PE football. But in real football, because there's tackling and hitting, you wear pads. So, part of that to be said is, you always want to catch the ball exactly like Mr. Moore-Henwick said, with your hands. If you try to catch the ball with your body and you're wearing pads, what's going to happen, Mr. Morningway?
It can smack off. Also, look at this, Mr. Shoemake. Come back here. Come right here. You're going to face them. If Mr. Shoemake lets the ball come all the way in here to catch it, all the way in here, look what can happen. The ball's going to travel longer, and I can come in and do that. What we want you to do,
defense.
What we want you to do is catch the ball out front. So you're going to, if you catch the ball out front, he has control. Now it's harder for me to get him. So catch the ball here, tuck it in. Don't let it come to your chest. Very rarely do you want it to come to your chest.
All right, excellent. From a world-class CCS receiver right there, you got in there. San Jose State alumni, baseball and football.
And they're 3-0 this year.
And they're 3-0, those Spartans.
Yep.
They are, actually. So, catching the ball is important, all right? I'm going to tuck the ball in, always protect the ball. Remember, above the waist, as Mr. Moore said, show us that diamond. The ball's coming in a nice tight spiral. You're letting the nose of the ball come right in between and tucking the ball right in. All right? If it's coming down low, right? He's got his hands there. He's got to pull hands on it. He's got to bring it up and tuck it in. And if it's in the sweet spot right below, all right, you just use your body and make sure it is. That's a tough catch.
It is tough.
The quarterback who's throwing the ball always wants to place the ball where the receiver's hands are, but the most important thing is you want to throw it where the defender has no chance of knocking the ball down or catching it. So, for instance, if our quarterback, Mr. Mitchell's there, and I'm defending Mr. Moore-Henwick, and I'm right here, you want to throw it away from me so Mr. Moore-Henwick can get the ball. All right? Mr. Mitchell, if you wouldn't mind stepping up from behind the camera so we can get that angle this way, it'd be phenomenal. All right, same thing. All right, Mr. Moore-Henwick's running, I'm receiving, I'm right here. Boom. He throws it away from me, all right? Now, if we show the same thing, if he throws it behind the receiver, I'm there to knock the ball down or to make the interception. So, passing, catching, all right, remember, that's how we throw, that's how we catch, and that is one of the main ways of advancing the ball up the field. Now, the other way we talked about was the run play, all right? The run play, you need to use your lateral movement if you're the ball carrier, but the quarterback here, said quarterback Mitchell, if you wouldn't mind coming into the shot there, all right? Running back, as I run, I'm going to come into the play, I'm going to have my hands open to take the handoff, boom, all right? If I'm in traffic and there's defenders to tackle me, I want to have the ball protected so they can't knock it out, boom, and I'm going to try and run through the pack. If I'm out in the open and it's just one-on-one, I want the ball to be tough, just like we said before. And now, you got to use your abilities to get the ball to the field. If it's one-on-one, if I was a type of running back to be a power back, and I'm going against Mr. Moore-Henwick, who's a big squatty guy, all right, I may try to use my speed to get away. All right? If I was bigger than Mr. Moore-Henwick, then I might say, come on, little guy, I'm going to run you over. Boom! And run all the way to the end zone. We'll talk more about tackling in the future, but Mr. Moore-Henwick, if you were a smaller guy, we were both safeties, if you were smaller, facing a big running back, how would you say the best way to tackle him would be?
Well, if he's bigger than I am, he's probably bigger in the upper body too. So what I would usually do, if you're coming at me slow motion, boom, right here. Wrap them up. And we'll talk more about tackling in another video, but that's a great point, Mr. Shoemake. Don't take a bigger person on high, because you'll get knocked over.
Or you'll get that.
Oh!
Give that stiff arm, Mr. Shoemake.
So I'm coming to get Mr. Shoemake. Boom, he stiff arms me. Stiff arm is literally a stiff arm, straight.
Okay, so saying that to say the ways to advance the ball are running up the field or passing up the field. Remember, you get 4 attempts to do that. So let's say we got first down. It's first down and 10. That's the distance we have to go. Well, the first play we run, they stop me, I get 2 yards. That means it's second down and 8. All right, second down and 8. I throw the ball to Mr. Moore-Henwick, who's now on my team because we're using fantasy. All right, he gets 6 yards. That means it's 3rd down and 2. Well, 3rd down and 2, I run, ooh, no gain, didn't get any yardage. That means it's 4th down and 2. We only get 4 shots. We could go for it. But usually they don't go for it on 4th and 2 because chances are, if you don't make it, the other team is in great scoring position to score on their own end zone. So if we're on the other side of the field, what happens is you call out the punter, and much like a kickoff, you're going to punt the ball, which is basically a drop kick, to the other side of the field. They're going to have someone receiving, running it back, and then I got to run and try to tackle him. Oh, I missed him. He could score a touchdown. Or he gets tackled by somebody else on the team, and the ball is down wherever the receiver is down, and now the team that punted goes to defense. Mr. Moore-Henry's team goes to offense.
One easy way to remember, guys, that if Mr. Shoemaker's team is going this way, the tip of the ball makes an imaginary plane. And I can't go over that imaginary plane until it's snapped. Once it's snapped, I can go. Wherever Mr. Shoemaker is tackled, say he's running this way, he gets an 8-yard gain, boom, he's down. Boom, right there. Now, the ball's down, they go make a play, the tip of the ball becomes a new platform.
Line of scrimmage.
What's that?
Line of scrimmage.
Line of scrimmage is what
That's
it's called.
correct.
Yeah.
Great point. Wherever the ball's down is the line of scrimmage. So what that means, line of scrimmage is, that's where the line lines up, that's where the ball is. And me as a quarterback, if I snap the ball, I can run around anywhere in the backfield. Anywhere. I can throw the ball anywhere in the backfield. But if I run, and I run in front of that line of scrimmage, even by a step, and I throw the ball, that's a penalty. And we'll learn more about penalties next week. All right, so keeping in mind, today we learn how to catch the ball, all right, how to run the ball. We'll talk a little bit more about tackling, but know the goal is to advance the ball off the field, and the defense is trying to tackle you. All right, if the ball gets knocked out, that's thought of Mr. Mitchell. Fumble! Anytime you hear the word fumble, you want to jump on the ball. Whoever gets the ball gets to keep the ball at that point.
That's actually one of the funnest drills, to throw that ball and have 4 or 5 people try to jump on it.
Oh, yeah.
If you watch football, you'll see 1 or 2 of those a game, and people just jump on that ball. It's a lot of fun. Well, Jolly Geographer, what do you got for us this week?
All right, last week, New York. Where do they play? Not New York. They play in New Jersey. All right, New Jersey. Now, we're going to keep things going with our football theme. There's only one stadium in professional football that has a pirate ship in it. Which one is it? And who's the team?
Sports Factor, what do you got?
All right, the NFL, when you win it all, you win the Super Bowl championship. And there are 2 teams that have won more Super Bowls than anyone else in history. Name those 2 teams.
Before the joke gesture goes, I want to ask you guys another question. Have you guys answer this question. What is your least favorite sport to watch? Your least favorite sport to watch? Mr. Mitchell, what do you think?
Well, on TV, I'd have to say baseball. I think baseball's a little bit boring on TV. I like going to games. Games are a lot of fun. But watching, it's too slow. So I'd have to say, out of the major sports, I'd have to say baseball.
Okay, Mr. Shoemaker, what do you say?
You know what? I think baseball would be on TV probably my least favorite. In person, if I'm not playing, I'm just watching, I'd have to say 100% golf.
Well, I'm going to echo Mr. Shoemaker. I think golf is the most boring sport to watch. Baseball on TV, the one thing I do like about watching baseball on TV is the replays. You get a good double play, they slow it down, or a diving stop, or a home run, they slow that bat head down, show you the fundamentals. I like watching that on TV, but just for the replays. But I think golf is probably the most boring sport to watch for me personally. Guys, when I go to the hairdresser, as you can see I do, when I go to
jump right there, folks.
No. When I go to the hairdresser, I like watching football. It sounds weird, but it's true. When I go to the hairdresser, I like watching football. The highlights are great. Let me share a quick principle, guys, before I let you go this video. Information and transformation. We give a lot of information in these videos. You get some other information from other classes, but if all you're getting is information, all you have is knowledge. So we want you to gather the information in your brain, but then allow that information to transform the way you live for the better. If you're just getting information and your life's not being transformed by it, you're wasting your time. So just change. Get information and allow it to change the way you live. That's wisdom. A lot of people just have a bunch of knowledge and they don't know how to apply it. They have knowledge but no wisdom. So just change. Just change. Let the information change you. Let the information just change you. Oh boy. There we go.
Woo! We must be ready for some football. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're doing well out there. Welcome back to another great episode of Shoe Time. Keep being a better you today than you were yesterday. Keep on pushing. 1, 2, 3. Push!